Cars, Rolex watches, yachts, mansions, private jets. These are just some of the luxury items owned by the most successful and most controversial golfer in history, Tiger Woods. Ever since the 46-year-old went pro in 1996, Tiger's career earnings have topped an astonishing $1.8 billion. He's the first ever athlete to earn over $1 billion in his career and the second richest person of color in the US. It's no wonder the man can shell out big bucks for expensive stuff. Some of the cheapest things he owns might just cost more than everything the average human being will ever own. Here are the top 10 things Tiger Woods owns that cost more than your life. Jupiter Island Mansion. Almost everyone dreams of living in a big house sometime in their life, and Tiger Woods is one of the few lucky people who have made that dream come true. But still, it's one thing to buy a mansion, but to build one from scratch is a super huge flex. That's exactly what Tiger Woods did. Tiger Woods' gigantic property sits on 12 acres on Jupiter Island, but before he built this beauty, he first had the $40 million house on the property torn down to make way for an even bigger house. Imagine tearing down a $40 million property just because you can afford to. Anyways, the result was a masterpiece, and the massive 9,700 square foot mansion with 4 neighboring buildings was complete. Would you just look at it? Oh man. The new mansion boasts an oxygen therapy room, fitness center, private dock, tennis court, pool, media room, basement, wine cellar, and an elevator. All of these facilities sit looking at the Atlantic Ocean. Just imagine waking up to a view of the Atlantic Ocean. I guess that just happens when you have a net worth of $800 million. But the house would have been incomplete without one last thing: golf course. The mansion has a golf course big enough to host private tournaments. This was done to ensure Tiger Woods' swing stayed smooth between competitions. But for a man like Tiger Woods, one mansion is nothing but child's play. The legendary golfer has another house in Florida that might cost more than your entire life. Orlando Mansion. Orlando is also home to another one of Tiger's investments. The home has 8 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, a home theater, and a gym with a mirrored wall perfect for tracking his gym progress. It also comes with a wine cellar, a pool, a game room, and some of the most stunning green gardens you are ever going to see. This home will make anyone living in a cramped apartment go green with envy. The mansion might not belong to that athlete anymore, but $2.6 million is still a lot of money to spend on a house, even though the house was later sold during his divorce from ex-wife Elin Nordgren. But it's still actually remembered very fondly as being linked to the family. But believe me, that ain't just because of how much time and money they spent on it. This is the home where Tiger and his then-wife fought over his cheating allegations. It's also where the golfer angrily crashed his Cadillac Escalade into a fire hydrant when he fought with his ex-wife. That divorce from his ex-wife reportedly cost Tiger a whopping $110 million. Now let's talk about his cars. Porsche Carrera GT. Men are famously attached to toys like cars, and trust me, Tiger didn't miss the memo. The legendary golfer had an impressive garage, but one of the most remarkable cars in his garage is the Porsche Carrera GT, which cost their star about $44,000. The innovative vehicle might not command a jaw-dropping price tag, but back in 2003, the car was such a big deal that it was given the Best of What's New award by Popular Science magazine. Made from carbon fiber, it can reach speeds of up to 205 miles per hour, which, with a pretty cool rear wing that can be deployed if you go 70 miles per hour. This car can even be considered a steal for its price. It's also an exclusive, almost vintage ride because of only 1,270 of this sports cars exist, and Tiger was lucky enough to grab one. If he decides to sell, he sure stands to make way more than it costs him. Mercedes SLR McLaren Edition. Another priceless member of the Woods garage is the Mercedes SLR McLaren Edition. Mercedes has a luxury price range, and cheap is the last thing any Mercedes car could ever be. That said, the SLR McLaren is a rare edition. For each vehicle sold, the buyer got to personalize it wherever they wanted. With just the customization costing 150,000 euros, this car became a collector's item. No 2 cars of the edition were exactly alike. Even better, only 25 of this edition were ever produced, and Tiger owns one of those 25. Looks like Woods has got a thing for exclusivity. Besides, who wouldn't want a car that can reach speeds of up to 209 miles per hour and go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in a mere 3.4 seconds? But cars aren't the only expensive toys that Woods keeps in his fleet. The legendary golfer has a fleet of yachts that are nothing short of impressive. Solitude Yacht. Yachts seem to make millionaires and billionaires happy, and Tiger Woods is no different. That's why the California-born superstar doesn't have one but two yachts to choose from. In terms of size, the Solitude is nothing compared to his other boat, but that doesn't make it less spectacular. The Solitude is actually a dive boat, which is basically the type of boat that many divers use. One little fact that a lot of people don't know about Tiger Woods is that he also has a passion for spearfishing, and he even learned how to free dive so that he could spearfish without an air tank. That's why the dive boat was an absolute must. The Solitude comes in at 61 feet long and cost around $3 million. Tiger's dock for the yacht seems to be at Pirates Cove Resort and Marina, located only a few minutes away from his home on Jupiter Island. If you think the Solitude is pretty impressive, you'll think Tiger's other yacht, the Privacy, is something out of a dream. Privacy yacht. When Woods is looking to run away from all the drama and paparazzi that tail him everywhere, this 155-foot-long yacht of a dream is his answer to that. The super yacht has 3 floors with a 3-person elevator to easily move Tiger and his crew members around the boat. More impressively, this amazing boat measures 6,500 square feet and can comfortably sleep 10 to 12 guests. The yacht also has a bar, a VIP stateroom, a theater, a full gym with all the free weights you'll ever need, and an 8-person jacuzzi. That makes for an incredible party experience if you're lucky enough to get an invite. There's also a scuba station and enough room on the yacht to carry 3 jet skis, 2 ocean kayaks, and 2 Vespa scooters. The boat has a top speed of 18 knots and can boast a 4,000-mile range thanks to its 12,000-gallon fuel tank. The legendary golfer got the yacht back in 2004 for $20 million. That was around the time that he had just gotten married to his ex-wife. The newly wedded couple opted to stay on the yacht for their wedding night. And honestly, who wouldn't want to? The boat is more than just a boat, it's technically a floating mansion. Gulfstream G550 private jet. Do you know how rich you gotta be to make the news when you take a commercial flight? Well, Tiger Woods is that kind of rich. In January of 2017, it was a big deal when Tiger was spotted taking a commercial flight from Los Angeles to Dubai. It was the first time he'd been seen flying commercial in 10 years. We were a little worried about his private jet. When the golfer is not flying commercial, he enjoys jetting around in his $54 million private jet when he needs to travel, which he can do a lot. His private jet can move 24 people at a time and stay in the air for 12 hours without needing to stop for fuel. With a kitchen, a sleeping area, a wireless network, satellite communication, an Iridium phone, a fax/printer equipment, most people wouldn't mind living in a jet like this one. It's like a home and office with unlimited privacy. Rolex Sea Dweller. If there's any watch that symbolizes affluence, wealth, and power, it's a Rolex watch. So it's not surprising that Tiger Woods has opted for the age-old tradition of showing off your wealth with a Rolex. Woods didn't just get any Rolex, though. He got one that would accommodate his spearfishing hobby, the Rolex Sea Dweller. This watch was created with divers in mind back in 1967, and it's entirely waterproof up to a depth of 4,000 feet. A classy gradient of the colors twilight blue and bottomless black decorate the dial, giving off a perfect representation of the color that you would see during deep-sea exploration. Tiger is rumored to have spent around $10,000 on this one watch. The Woods Jupiter Restaurant. When you're rich, you get to eat wherever you want. And if what you want is too far from home, you can just open a restaurant. That's exactly what Tiger Woods did, just open a restaurant. The Woods Jupiter was opened in 2015 and sells American cuisine. Tiger Woods opened it close to his home mansion in Jupiter Island, Florida. The restaurant's website says that it is envisioned as a place where friends and family could come together to relax and refuel. The Woods has become a destination to celebrate like a champion. Early reports said that Tiger was spending around $1,000 per square foot for the restaurant, which is about 30% more than the typical upscale restaurant spends. And if that math is consistent, then Tiger spent around $8 million to build the eatery. Tiger Woods Learning Center. When Tiger Woods isn't spending money on fancy cars and boats, he also uses his earnings to give back. The golfer created the Tiger Woods Learning Center in 2006. The property has various media facilities and a place outside to teach golf. Designed for underprivileged children below the poverty line, it gives them a chance to learn about careers in math and science and technology and language arts. Imagine the number of lives that his philanthropic efforts have changed. He wasn't just seeking glory when he built this. He truly wanted to emphasize the value of education and inspire children to dream just as big as he did. The 35,000 square foot facility in Anaheim, California cost around $18 million to build. So, what do you think about Woods' luxurious life and spending habits? Let us know in the comment section below.